Well, what's going on, guys? 12-2 Nation, we're back here again with the third group call of the month. And this month, we've been really focusing in on this topic, this idea of passion and finding passion in your sport, having the passion to wake up every day and really truly get 1% better. Last week, we had Kyan Lotus on from Kansas State baseball, and he told us a little bit about his story, about where he finds his passion in baseball. And tonight, we are lucky enough to have on two baseball players, Brayden Smith and Brody Sexton, and they're going to tell you guys a little bit about their story, who they are, how they met, how they know each other, and then we're going to dive into a little bit of questions that you guys had brought to us through social media. So, Brayden, Brody, you guys want to take it away, introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Brody Sexton. I'm originally from Arizona. I went the JUCO route out of high school, and that's actually how we met. I was originally committed to a JUCO in Arizona, and then about 2 weeks for supposed to move in, the coaches called and said they're moving to Iowa Western, and I was like kind of panicking a little bit, and I was like, okay, don't know anything about Iowa Western, so fortunately enough, I made the decision to come over, and I never regretted it. And that's how I met Brayden. And now I'm over at Grand Canyon University and loving it there. So yeah,
Go Lopes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm Brayden Smith. I went to Iowa Western out of high school. Didn't have a bunch of attention out of high school, but just chose to go JUCO. Kind of bet on myself, as everyone says. But yeah, I met Brody there. Same thing at Iowa Western. I mean, we got a new coaching staff like 2-3 weeks before we were supposed to get on campus. It was kind of crazy, but it ended up being honestly like the best thing for me. The coaches there are awesome. We actually just went up there and hit with them today and got a good hitting session in. Yeah, Iowa Western was best thing for me. Got a lot of work in, learned how to kind of go about my business in a professional way. Um, the consistency of everything there was just big time for development. I'd say now I'm at Oklahoma State now, getting after it, trying to make a impact there. So that's about it.
Yeah. Sweet, sweet. And Braden, I know a little bit about your story. Brody, don't know as much, but would love to hear just kind of about the journey, high school, the process, how you got to where you are now at Oklahoma State, at GCU. Maybe even touch a little bit on how the mental game for you guys has like developed over the years. Maybe how you've maybe started, didn't really realize how big of an impact it can make, and then to now maybe that's something that's a little bit more um, that you guys focus on. But yeah, just would love to hear a little bit more about the journey.
Yeah, for sure. So like in high school, I went to a high school that was big, but it wasn't really known for baseball. It was more of a football school. Uh, Came in, just trying to be on varsity freshman year. Got to do that a little bit. I just going into high school, I had some attention from D1s, and then COVID kind of hit, and everything kind of quieted down. So JUCO was really my only option. Um, I still to this day don't regret going to JUCO. Like I love it. Um, yeah, the mental game too, I think was a big part that I learned my senior year of high school. I had a guy I met that came into my life, baseball wise, and really helped me with the mental side. And he had some pro ball experience. So, especially hearing it from him from where he was at, definitely kind of like helped like catch my attention more. And I saw a lot of improvement. Then my sophomore year at Iowa Western, I started off the season not too hot and just kind of lost a little bit and just was thinking way too much and had another great guy come to our life that was on our coaching staff that helped me a lot through the mental process. And I actually got into journaling a lot and writing goals down every day and stuff like that. And I'm good now. I do suggest doing it every day, but right now I'm in a good spot. But when it comes to season starting in February, I'm definitely going to be starting that back up just because it's a good thing to have just in your back pocket. So
Yeah, 100%. I know I didn't tell you I was gonna ask you this, but the journaling, like that's one thing that we talk about a ton with our athletes, and we talk about setting goals. Is it kind of season long goals? How do you do it? Short term, intermediate, team, personal? You want to talk a little bit just about that?
Yeah, for sure. So before every season, I always write down at least like 5 goals that I want to accomplish or do my best to accomplish for that season. With what my regular journaling is I wake up and it's my 3 intentions for the day. So three, it could be saying hi to someone like that I don't know, like just little things like that to just take my mind kind of off baseball. And some of my goals are for baseball, but just little things to refresh myself, keep myself present, and just to make sure I'm grounded and where I'm at. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it helps really, I think, set the intentions, like you said, love that word intention, because if
Mhm.
you don't know where you're going or what you want to accomplish, it's going to be a lot harder to get there.
Yeah.
You're just going to be kind of floating around mindlessly. But I think the journaling really does a good job of helping us stay grounded. And so it's cool to see that you do that. Brayden,
Sup.
what you got? What you got for us?
Uh, mental side of the game. I'll get so. Actually, no, I actually did come to realize this like even more once I got to Oklahoma State. The fact that like, I mean, we get preached to like, I mean, from a young age, I was preached about the mental game, like how it plays such a big deal. And it didn't hit me until this year. And I realized how talented everyone is and really what sets everyone apart or what sets the person apart from being like from good or like the normal standard person at that level to like someone who like performs at a very high level is honestly just the mental game and how they like go about their business. Like I've gotten to be around some of the best baseball players in college baseball right now, and just the way that they go about their business has been really inspiring, and it kind of gives me something to go off of in a way. Something that's helped me mentally is I started it this semester was writing down my schedule before like at night before I go to bed. So it kind of like y'all were saying like sets an intention behind the day. Like I know exactly my plan of attack for the day, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna work on, and then kind of just execute it as I go about my day. So I'm not just like a leaf blown in the wind throughout my day. I kind of have a purpose behind everything that I'm doing. So it's not just like a guess going through about my day, you know?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think it's living. We had a guy speak on a couple weeks ago, and he's like, living on purpose. We got to live on purpose for a purpose. Um, and so I know it's sweet to hear how the mental side of the game's impacted both you guys. Before we kind of hop into a little bit more of these questions, I know your story about how you ended up at Oklahoma State, but just you want to talk about a little bit, went from Millard South to Iowa Western to Oklahoma State, what that process was like.
Yeah, that process. I was pretty underdeveloped physically in high school. I mean, I could always hit, but I didn't really have a position. Really immature in the box, just up there swinging. But got to Iowa Western, put on some size. Coaches helped me out a lot with hitting and kind of just going up with a plan every time. Like we talked about intent behind like everything that you're doing, kind of even in the cages, like there's a purpose behind everything that you're doing. You're working on something. It's not just it becomes exercise when you don't have intent behind the stuff you're doing. You're just out there swinging and exercising. So having just a plan every time I go up to the plate and every time I'm in the cages helped me a lot. Got a lot better freshman year, and then sophomore year I got a lot better defensively. Still was good with the bat, but I think I had a bigger intention on becoming like a really solid defensive player, and I that goal definitely came through. And then got the opportunity to come play at Oklahoma State, and first semester has been good. Now I'm just trying to put myself in a good spot to be able to have an impact for the team, help the team out, and get some wins. Hopefully, go to Omaha.
Yeah, heck yeah. It'd be sweet to see both of you guys back
Yeah.
here in Omaha. That'd be That'd be awesome. Before we hop into some of these questions, just on staying on the topic of passion, but you guys talking about doing stuff with intention, doing stuff with purpose. Brody, see your shirt, faith over fear, and I know Brayden, your faith's a big deal to you too. Do you guys want to touch on just briefly or however long you want on how your faith kind of like impacts the way you play or impacts the way you kind of like get up and do stuff with intention?
Yeah. I actually have a really cool story. So like I was saying how I was originally committed to a JUCO in Arizona, and then the coaches came over to Iowa Western. Uh, like I was I think I was driving home from the gym at night, and I've lived in the same house my whole life, and just got off the phone with my dad about how um about the situation I was in, and I just really didn't know where I was going to go, and I hung up, and I just haven't hit a bump in the road, and I've drove back past this street 1,000 times probably, and it said Iowa on it, like the street name was Iowa, and I was like, all right, that's got to be a sign from God that I need to go to Iowa, and from there, coming to Iowa Western, my faith has grown like a lot, like meeting Brayden and coming to a church with him and everything like that. I've definitely grown closer to God. I mean, I've always been a Christian and faith has always been in my life, but doing it like on my own, I guess you could say, definitely helped me a lot. And I think it's a big part of my game, just like praying before every game and trusting that there's a process and all this. It's really helped me.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's really cool.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I am a Christian. I've been following Jesus for about 4 years, almost 5 years. But yeah, I mean, that's been a huge part of, I mean, it is my life, I guess. Like baseball is awesome. It's a great platform, but it's really just about like the people that you meet and how you impact them and do kingdom work around them. So I mean, I'm just obviously baseball is awesome. I want to do the most I can with it, but I'm just giving it everything I got. If it doesn't work out, God's gonna put me in a spot to for the people that He wants me to bring closer to Him. It's not really, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I think it speaks a lot of you guys and just your character, and you know who you are because of whose you are first, and baseball second. And then like you said, it's a platform to be able to bring people to get to know him and bring him glory. So that's cool. Just wanted to touch on that. I saw your shirt and was like, yeah, that's what it's all about. Um so some of the questions that some of the athletes kind of brought in is how can our passion, how can my passion for the sport change over time? And I know that can be kind of taken in a lot of different angles, but how have you guys seen from climbing the ranks to maybe youth to high school to college to transferring to another college? Like how has your passion either changed or maybe stayed the same through that?
Um, I mean, everyone like going from, let's say we all started out at T-ball, like, everyone's playing baseball. Like you said, the higher you get, things change in people's lives. For me, I mean, I've always loved the game of baseball and I've always had passion about it. Um, I think the biggest thing is for me, like when I'm in a slump or I'm struggling, to keep my passion is to just go back and remind myself of the little league days, the club ball days, and like the days that you were a kid and you weren't thinking about, oh, did I drop my shoulder on that swing, or should I throw into second base instead of first base? Stuff like that. Like when we were little, we didn't think about those things. We were out there having fun, playing with our boys. So like that's what I like, is to remind myself of where I started my passion for the game, and it helps me kind of reset and continue my passion for the game. So
Yeah, that's good.
I've never really had a problem with like losing my passion for baseball. I'm not sure why. I don't I don't know. I just really enjoy playing baseball. I think God's put me in where I'm at in life for a reason. And I think, I mean, it's shoot, I wouldn't rather be doing anything else than showing up to play a game every day. So I think that's a good perspective to have. It's a game, but it it's hopefully to become a job, but like at the end of the day, it is a game. So I think showing up every day with the intent of just getting better, doing the best with what you can, like with what you're given, and knowing that God's put you in like both of our spots for a reason, and just having that contentment, but also like kind of drive to get the work done that God's put in front of us. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I think I hear a lot of just like kind of understanding like the purpose behind why you're doing what you're doing. And so it makes the passion a little bit easier to maintain. Kind of falls into what this next question does to what Brody was talking about of how do I kind of balance or keep my passion with the stress of just challenges, whether that be academics, whether it be injuries, different responsibilities, in the midst of adversity, how do you kind of keep going?
I can talk on the injury one. My freshman year at JUCO, I fortunately tore my left labrum, and I didn't end up getting surgery during the season. I played through it, but my playing time definitely got cut in half because of the injury, of course. Uh, so I want to say I was in a bad spot, but it definitely sucked because I was expecting more playing time and all this, and it. I was on the phone with a couple of guys or a couple of old coaches from back home, and uh, they were really helping me with just like showing me ways to stay engaged, I guess you could say, in games. And one thing was, what can you learn from the game at a different point of view? So for me, I was in the bullpen or in the dugout. What can I learn or what can I see? And that really helped me get engaged and continue my passion for the game. Like the amount of things I picked up or little things I saw that could have been done that didn't get done, like it kept me engaged and kept my passion in it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think injuries teach you so much,
Yeah.
not only about yourself, but about, other people, right? Because when you have a teammate that's going through, something similar, maybe injury, just sideline for a little bit, you can kind of relate, understand, meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, that's good. Just learning.
I think for me, I think routine is like a huge thing. I think like definitely routine is like a big thing to be able to fall back on. Like if you have a bad week at the plate or like in the field or something like that, like if you have a routine, you're going back every single day to do the things that you need to get done and things that need to be done. I think that a lot of confidence and passion can be gained through your preparation. So like if you're challenging yourself in practice and challenging yourself off the field as well, like trying to grow your mind, grow your faith with the Lord, like you're gonna have that like kind of contentment and confidence knowing that you've done everything that you can when you step on the field. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think you guys answered a couple of the questions that were going to come next, but one of the next ones was about similar to what you talk about of like routine and staying kind of grounded and like not being a leaf blowing in the wind,
Yeah.
process driven. Can you talk about how important it is to understand that it's about the journey. It's about the process. It's not about the accolades where we're at now. It's it's the staying grounded part. Because I think it's so easy that society tells us we want the spotlight, we want the wins, we want to end up winning the championship at the end, which yes, we do. But can you talk about like the journey, the process, celebrating the small wins along the way? Um, Kind of that idea, why the process, the journey is important. And I think you guys playing JUCO can attest to that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, it's like you look, especially on social media, you see guys like that are getting drafted out of high school and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, everyone has a different journey. And I think the process, I love the process. Like from seeing where I was freshman year of high school to freshman year of college to now my junior year in college, the stages of me getting better is crazy. Like looking at old video, like I like going back and seeing video of me when I was 14 or whatever and seeing how much I've changed. And another thing that's helped me is I have a little brother that's in high school, and when I came here to Iowa, I was gone for 2 years, and seeing from where he was his freshman year to where he is now, seeing his process without seeing him work, it's crazy seeing how much better he's gotten. So I personally, I love the process. Like I love taking step by step, making sure each day I'm getting better and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I'm good. I think you hit on the head.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think if you fall too much in love with the pats on the back, the what people are gonna say, the social media, I think it's easy to fall into the comparison trap and just kind of I think you talked about it a lot is hey, comparison is a lot of times the thief of joy. I mean, you didn't say those words for words, but it's if you're constantly wanting to be that player, achieve that or do that or win that award, you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be content. And so it's like being where your feet are. Um, talk so much about you guys brought it up of just kind of blowing mindlessly. I think about the analogy of being a rock and you're being where your feet are, you're being stationed versus being a balloon and you're floating mindlessly with the wind. And
Yeah.
so I think that's what the journey, the process, the routine can help us do. One of the last questions is that I had is how can I, and we talked a little bit about it with faith, but how can I find purpose in my sport beyond just winning games?
I think the main thing is connections. Like the people you meet through the game of baseball is crazy. Like for Brayden example, like I one coaching change met like I met my one of my lifelong friends now, like a person that helps me get better in the weight room, on the field, and with my faith. Like it's crazy the people you meet in baseball. It's wild.
Um, yeah, I mean, that's yeah, I mean, people honestly, that's kind of like the biggest thing. Um, the people that God's put in front of me just from like doing trying to do the right thing every day, getting my work done, trying to serve the Lord, bring people closer to Him, seek Him throughout that. I think He's put the like a insane people I never thought I would have been meeting or being friends with or making connections with. I think that's just been like life changing to see like the fruit of like the work that nobody else sees. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I think you guys meeting each other, playing together at Iowa Western, testament to really God's faithfulness. And
Yeah.
then also you two continuing now that you have this relationship of just getting to sharpen each other daily, like to hold each other accountable, to stay true to pushing one another in the cages, in their faith, in your guys' relationship, whatever it may be. But like Brody said, like lifelong best friends, like
Yeah.
who are going to continue. Like there's that's such a win in itself of just what the game of baseball brought you. Like
Yeah.
that it puts a win or loss in the column to I mean it doesn't even compare to a lifelong friendship, right? And so that's just having the eyes to see the little things and the little blessings like that in the midst of a sport that's so win loss heavy
Yeah.
driven. It's cool. And so yeah, honestly, I think you guys brought so much wisdom, so much knowledge on this call, and just hearing other people's stories, hearing your guys' story, not only an encouragement for me, but for all of our athletes, for all the listeners, the viewers. It's cool to see how you guys have stayed true to the process of baseball from little league to high school to not knowing where you're going to go to college to ending up at JUCO together to now ending up at Oklahoma State and GCU and seeing where you're going to go from there, right? I think that's the journey, that's the process in itself, and it's an inspiration to everybody. And so, one more thing before we end the call, if you had one piece of advice or one word of advice to you can kind of pose it two ways to either maybe your younger self or like our athletes who are listening who are maybe a little bit younger. Some of them might be around the same age. What would you say? Just one piece of advice. Doesn't have to be under any sort of umbrella or topic. What do you got?
My word would be patience. Be patient. Like if I could go back and tell my younger self to be patient, one, I probably would tell myself no, but Yeah, I think patience is a big key. Like when I was younger, I got like big into bodybuilding, and I regretted it my freshman year of college because I was so tight. Like my muscles were tight. I couldn't move, no mobility, and I kind of like was set back a little bit. So I had to get back into like explosiveness and stuff like that, fast twitch movement. So because I was just so like excited to get in the weight room, so I had no patience of trusting that doing the fast twitch movements now, then getting stronger later. You know, yeah. So I would say patience is my key.
Yeah.
I think kind of along the same lines of patience is kind of just, I mean, it kind of goes with it. Just like we talked about earlier, like not comparing your journey with other people's, like, um, everyone's journey looks different. And like, in, if you're doing the right thing every day, like seeking the Lord, getting your work done, like having intent behind your day, like just winning the day, like simply just winning the day, like doing everything that you can be doing to get, like you said earlier, 1% better, like you can have confidence in that, you'll reap a harvest of what you're sowing. Like there's no reason to look like anyone else. Like God's put you where you're at for a reason. And to be like looking for other people, or like hoping you're, or wishing you were in other situations, is kind of like in a way disrespectful to God, because he has good plans for you, and he is like he's a purpose behind your life, and you're there for a reason. And to be like looking other places for gratification, or like wishing you're in a different spot, I think it's just like you're in you're where you're at for a reason. Don't worry about other people.
Yeah. 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 That's good. I think that those two, they tie in, they're different, but they tie together because it's like, hey, be patient on the Lord and trust in the process, trust in his plan, and he is faithful, right? And so I think it's Brayden, yours goes to, hey, be where your feet are. It's easy to think the grass is greener on the other side. It's greener where that athlete's getting all the accolades, or hey, it's maybe greener at this other school, but no, the reality is the grass is greener where your feet are.
Yeah.
And so water the grass where you're standing. Be faithful, stay true to the process, the plan. And I think so much of what you said is just win the day, 1% better, routine, and just yeah, really staying true to what you know and believe is right in Jesus and the plan and the course. So thank you guys again so much for just coming on here, and dropping so much wisdom.
Yeah,
No
no
doubt.
problem.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Sir.